simpler game plan. It's very obvious. It's very simple in terms of what they need to do. Whereas if we're looking at Revival, don't get me wrong, I think that they have the potential to outplay, but they have to play perfectly. Positioning, how they use their skills, going to be super important. And taking on the team fight is not as simple as just Zerg rushing them, so to speak.
Yeah. Revival on their side, they're banning out as many FMM's heroes as possible. The Beatrix, Irithel, Wan, all getting banned out. FMM forced to pick that Clint. So a lot of burst damage, especially scaling through the late game. In the early game, really pokes onto Claude very effectively. So you'll see a lot of effective farming coming out from Clint. I don't know if that will be able to snowball them into the late game, but let's talk about the composition so far. Slate has banned out Uranus, so that hints to me they might be picking the Masha, because what you don't want from them, don't want for Revival, is someone who can split lanes. You want everyone to stay together as much as possible, stay as a unit, and when that happens, you just go ham on them, and Slate can very easily clear everyone out. But JPL, going back to old reliable, Cho getting picked up as the last pick, Revival picking up that Karina as well as the Lolita. They have a lot of crowd control. Both teams very, very balanced pick. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm favoring Slate's composition right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's just, again, you have the survivability, you have, the crowd control, you have the utility from the Cho, you have so many different options. It really comes down to Revival, again, having that perfect team fight. Yes, they have the damage, but they're kind of squishy. They need to ensure that when they get that pick off, it's the right person and they're not getting initiated on.
Yeah, we're going to see another sort of like RSG versus Evo kind of game as well, because you have the Valentina and the Atlas. So there's going to be a pull here and pull there, but on the side of Revival, they have a lot of crowd control. Whether or not they are able to utilize it, I mean, they really shine, especially through the late game, is going to be up to them. But ladies and gentlemen, we are almost through to the first game, match number 3, MPL Season 4 SG, Slate versus Revival. Kin, what do you have for us?
All right, so you guys were talking about a draft, right, from the previous, the drafting phase itself. Actually, I think Revival does stand a pretty decent chance. They have very mobile heroes themselves, which means that Atlas will not be able to take a lot of good Fatal Links as fight progresses. As long as Revival knows how to position themselves, it is going to be a simple task for them. Now, the only question is, how do you deal with the Cult Altar? Because that is one of the win conditions for Slate. If they live longer and revive themselves, Revival is going to have a very, very hard time.
Well, I mean, sustainability is the name of the game, and right off the bat, Slate showing a little bit of sign of aggression and going through with the Lethal Wanderer in the process. Oh, wait, did I get this wrong? Gear is actually on the Cho playing the jungle position. So Jungle Cho, this is interesting.
Yep, gonna have to cut you there. Swirled is gonna get gone on here. It's gonna be a 2v1 situation. He's under the tower. JPL actually falls down to half his health. So the early skirmish right now, and it looks like so far Revival have survived this first attempt. I think Slate at this point, they're just really feeling out Revival. Where are you guys at, right? Are we gonna have a very tough game on hand or not?
Yeah, and Slate is definitely, I mean, we looked at the keys to victory. Slate really has to go in all hand with the early game aggression, especially...
I'm going to have to cut you off there because Seilah getting caught again. This time it's a 2v1, but he's going to be out safe.
Ooh, I'm not worried about Seilah. I mean, he's one of the best mid laners, or if not the best mid lane in MPL Season 4 so far. So, Slate looking like they are having bush control so far, not giving any signs of outages to the side of Revival. So if Revival doesn't know where you are, you don't know your next move. And that is where Slate wants to be. The turtle dance is coming online.
Yep, LY4, of course, going to try and get the turtle over to the side. And Adammir, understanding the situation, is not going to allow that to happen. And it looks like the call for Slate is to try and contest this. The turtle has been reset, but they have to be very careful. Adammir is very happy to just stand there. He's going to get caught out. Oh, a nice one here. He's going to catch 3 people on the side of Revival, and this is going to be a nice stun as well. Here comes the Cult Altar here as Revival. They're going to try and win this fight. Turtle is not going to be reset as Seilah going to try and push the issue. Here jumping in the back line as well. He's going to be punished for it. Revival, this looks like a good fight for them. LY4 gets another kill on his side, and it's going to be 1-for-1, but the turtle has been reset. Revival, they are going to go on a 4v4 situation, but LY4 is so low. QDX Love as well. And this looks like Slate, they have the upper hand. Here comes the jump in, Seilah coming in, the rest of the support, and they punish it! A nice pull as well. This is going to be a clean team wipe as Slate going to win the first fight of the game, giving them a huge lead, almost 2,000 gold. JPL happy to give his life at this point.
They're still going at it. That was a win for Slate. I mean, the turtle is still untouched. You still had LY4. What Revival needed to do... Oh, but what happened just right there? FMM just bursted down piece. Nothing, nowhere to run. Okay, so the Revival needs to play their turtle dance really carefully because they do have a lot of crowd control. You do have Ruby with Offended and her second ability, which is able to stun out the rest of Slate. But they're not using it to their full potential. You need to be able to zone out, give as much vision to LY4 as possible. So before we get into that, let's take a look at the emblems right now.
Yep, so far it is Slate's advantage in terms of gold. But now if you take a look at the EXP, of course they took the turtle on the side of Revival. But now, does this make sense on the emblem choice? How does this work out for you?
Well, Cho on the Demon Slayer as well as Karina on the Demon Slayer. I mean, they are looking to close out on all of this, but hold on a second.
He's going to get caught out, but he's going to make it out. A nice pull there, but Revival, they have brought 4 members down. Can they do anything with the numbers? It looks like no. Slate is going to punish them. An attempt at this punish as another 4 of them are going to try and jump down into the jungle. Here's going to try and steal a couple of minions from the jungle camp. And Revival, not exactly the best positioning so far. They're going to try and have a short miss, but I think they're doing quite well against Slate.
Yeah, definitely. A much different Revival from what we've seen against RSG right there. But on the side of Slate, they have jungle control very optimally right now. The fact that Swirled, I want to bring you to Swirled. So Swirled takes in Seilah's ultimate, the Cult Altar, right? So this means that Revival is playing very defensively so far. So, ooh, we just missed that on the map, but 2 members of Revival go down. Oh no, it's a 1-for-1 trade from both teams at the moment. But let's take a look at the itemizations. Already endless battle build up for Clint. On the other side, Claude building up that Demon Hunter sword. But look at the process right there. QDX Love still owning that Cult Altar in that moment. Swirled taking out that fight, but nothing to commitment, nothing much to commit right there.
Yep.
Swirled in a spot
maybe
bottom.
overstepped his position here, going to get caught out, and this is going to be another kill for Slate. Slate is going to push the issue here. They are up by 3,000 gold. So now the question is, what can Revival do to kind of contest this? Because right now, because of that death, Slate is going to be in the prime position. They're going to start the next turtle dance for themselves. This is the second turtle of the game. And it looks like a Revival, they're not going to try and contest this.
No, no way at all, because JPL is right there. He is the main shot caller for the team. But for the side of Revival, you need to switch up a gear a little bit. You're playing way too defensively at this moment. You have all the right tools. And Peace, I mean, you have to get him effectively farmed up. Your lane is down. You have to swap out your lane. Right now, Ryan in a spot of bother for FMM is already... He has the endless battle, so his power spike is there. He's able to take down. He's ready for blood.
Yep, so far the map control by both teams are quite even. Of course, with Slate taking the bottom tier 1 so far. In terms of goal, I think Revival, they're still hanging on by a thread. But down here, you want to see Slate. They have already planned this rotation. They're waiting for Swirl to be very careful with that positioning because LY4 is around the corner as well. Swirl, if he jumps in a bit too deep, Slate is going to punish him extremely hard. JPL, you can see already trying to roam around the map as Gear is causing confusion. But the main aim here is to go for that mid-tier 1 turret. You can see the rotations around the map by Slate. They want to keep Revival in check. They want to make sure they know where exactly all of the different players from Revival are at.
Yeah, 100%. What Slate is doing is trying to seek out where everyone is, especially LY4. Once he's out of the picture,
JPL, he is going to jump in, not going to catch anything so far, but here is going to be the start of the fight. FMM going to chunk down the tower by a bit as QDX Love is going to try and mount this defense. So far, okay. Revival doing not that bad, but Slate, the pressure is ever mounting. Adammir is already looking around the back lines here on that Phobius. And LY4 has to be very careful on that Karina because one misstep, the entire Slate team is going to be on you. JPL tries for another jump, not going to catch anyone so far, but does get a good vision for his team. This is going to be a very tough one because the tower is going to be taken in. Here comes the fight. It goes in, but the Cult Altar has been activated, and it's going to be a reply as well on the side of Revival. Here is no damage being done. Nobody's dying yet, but there is a lot of damage on Seilah. Seilah's left alone in no man's land, caught by the back line. But is it going to be a first kill? Yes, Seilah actually gets taken out, but the back lines of Slate are suffering as well. And now Adammir is going to try and change the storyboard for them as Slate going to try and get a kill and back out. There's no other objectives to take at this point, so they have to be very careful.
This is a very disciplined Slate right now, but hold on a second right now. Swirled gets caught out a little bit too far into the depths of Slate. Revival needs to play this as defensively as possible. Remember, you do have insurance with that Claude, but whether or not he is able to farm effectively, it speaks another story. But it seems as though Gear is playing as the off men because you have Atlas, you have Phoveus, you have Faramis. These three heroes keep pushing you together, and this is not where you want to be. But Slate is trying to get them all together. This is why JPL is always seemingly aggressive. He doesn't really go in. He's seemingly aggressive. He tries to go in, tries to bait out at least an ultimate from any one of them, and then you counter that.
Yep, Revival, I think at this point, they're kind of trying to mirror Slate's move. You can see that Swirled is trying to take the priority as playing like he is Seilah, right, on that Faramis. Because the way that he's positioning, he wants to make use of that Cult Altar. So far, he has been successful, but the thing is, QDX Love does not provide enough room for LY4 to come and jump in. And with that, Slate is going to start the pressure here. They're going to try and get the red buff while they are pressuring this bottom tier 2 as well. Or both teams are ready position around this. This is potentially a fight, but it looks like Slate, they're going to try and back up for a moment because the Lord is already up at this point. We are 9.5 minutes, and JPL is going to be the one that's going to catch vision for his team.
Well, I mean, Slate is trying to push Revival to do something that they don't want to do. And what Revival doesn't want to do is try to coagulate together. This leaves the Lord wide open. This is their turtle dance. This is Slate trying to lure out any enemies.
Yeah, the call has been made though. Adammir is going to jump in. Can they catch anyone? They do catch Ryan, but the Cult Altar is going to be committed by the side of Revival. Here we go. The option has been burned as FMM versus down Ryan.
Ooh.
Ryan's going to try and run away, but he gets taken out instead. So now this is a good movement for the side of Slate as Gear jumps in. 1v3. Can he do it? Where is the Fatal Links? No Fatal Links yet, but LY4 gets taken out immediately by Adammir, and this leaves them with just 2 members, QDX Love as well as Swirled, suffering at the hands of Slate, which means it's going to be a free Lord.
Oh, it is a free Lord indeed. I mean, you can cycle Revival's heroes right now, 2 members down. But let's take a look at the instant replay so far, as it's not going to be a contested Lord in this moment. So what happened here was JPL baited out that Cult Altar, flashes in, and pulls everyone back into the hands of Slate with the Fatal Links.
Right.
And look at that.
Yep, so that was a good play because they actually burned the ultimate of Valentina. So the IMU was used very early, and they actually followed up with the Fatal Links. It was not a multi-man Fatal Links, but that was more than enough because Revival had limited resources after the usage of those 2 skills, which means that Slate had the doors open. All they needed to do was to just push them away. Getting additional kills would have been a perk, but end of the day, they got the Lord. So that's what the true objective of that fight was for. And now Revival, they have their backs against the wall. They have to figure out what do they want to do at this point.
Well, I mean, peace on that Claude is the Achilles heel is that Claude has to go in with guns blazing duet, straight into the enemy's face. But when you do that, you sort of open an opportunity to be up close and personal with JPL, and that's where you don't want to be. When JPL seeks you out, he's going to take you down. The conceal play coming right up.
Yep, that's right. We are going to be looking. They are going to try out catch out piece. Not going to happen for JPL, but they do force on the back off, which means they have a tier 3 in the books. So Slate already up by close to 7,000 gold. They are going to push this even further at this point as Revival. So far, I mean, they're not playing exactly very badly, but Slate has their number at this point.
Yeah, this Faramis and Atlas combo is super, super deadly. You have a lot of mobility coming in from these 2 heroes alone. Adammir able to chase you down, especially on the back line. If you have that Claude, once you use your Battle Mirror image, you are able to activate Adammir's ultimate. He's going to be hunting you down. He's going to take you down with him. So this is going to be a very, very tough fight for Revival. Yes, I said it during the drafting phase. You want to push this into a late game, but the longer you take this, you open up more windows of opportunity for JPL to seek you out.
Yep, they're just, I mean, they're suffering because they're allowing Adammir to just get vision for the team. And this is a very fatal mistake for Revival because Revival's strength in their draft is really about making the whole team go into a chaotic kind of movement, right? You want the team to be split up. You want to have split fights. You do not want to have a full-on face-to-face 5v5, which Slate has been successfully forcing Revival
What
to
are
do.
we looking at
And we're
here?
going to have a competition of recalls here as Adammir and NY4. I'm very sure they're longtime friends as well. But this is not looking good if you are from the side of Revival.
Yeah.
How the fight normally starts is that JPL will start looking for any targets to look for that potential 4-man, 5-man fatal link. And Revival has not answered that yet.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the if you can do that recall, sort of like that cheeky little recall right there, it means that you're not farming. When you're not farming, your opponent is. Look at FMM. He is busy taking down all the lanes. As the Lord is coming out, Slate, it looks like Slate is in a better position to take down that Lord.
That's right. And the reason why Adammir is standing all the way in front is because he's extremely tanky. Well, of course, this is happening. The Lord is being taken. And back to the point of Adammir. Adammir's job right now is to really get Revival to waste all of their skills on him because he's already tanky to that point. And that's why Revival is struggling at this point because they cannot afford to loosely throw the skills that they have. This is EXP deficit, this is a gold deficit, and the map control is way off for the side of Revival. They are really struggling at this point.
What I think Swirled should do, or the Valentina should do, is copy JPL's ultimate. Because right now, as the Lord is marching down on that south side, if you can find the right opportunity, bring in FMM and take him out. Once he is taken out, you remove the main damage dealer for the side of Slate. But let's take a look at the items right now. It seems as though FMM is ready for blood, almost building up that
try and take a look at the back end. Oh, it's a 3-man fatal link by JPL. They start off the fight brilliantly as Seilah gets a kill on Ryan, and this is going to be a counter committed by both sides. But this is a lost cause because Slate is here to take it for the win. As Swirled going to be pushed back all the way to the tower, and this looks like it's going to be end of game 1 as Slate shows up. Revival, no chance at all so far.
Oh, that was fountain farming by Adammir. What a statement. What a statement right there. That was a decisive victory on the side of Slate. Holler, what can you tell us about this game?